Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of our Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series. In the last episode I was hoping that we'd be working on grenades today, but we're going to take a little bit of a detour and we're actually going to be looking at line traces. So in the last episode we were looking all about overlap events, and today we're going to be looking at line trace, and they're similar in the sense that you're going to be using them all the time in your games. They're pretty core mechanic, so hopefully we'll get into it. I have a few little bit of sort of reference that we can go over, otherwise feel free to skip a bit into the lesson. If we simplify this just for a moment, and if we look at this in a 2D perspective, what a line trace is going to be is taking two coordinates. So I'm going to start, let's say, at -6 and 4, and if we take another coordinate, let's say 4 and 1, what a line trace will be is the engine drawing a straight line between those points. Now, things that these are useful for is, let's say we have an enemy and he is in this general area here. What we could do is we could draw a line trace, and we can do a similar line trace. Let's say we're going to from -6 4 to 6 1. Because the line goes through the enemy, we can say that we have hit the enemy. Now, if we undo that for a second, and if we, let's say, add a wall or a barrier between it, if we tried to do the same hit again, it would get hit by the wall and the line trace would stop. This lesson here is going to be guns, I believe, or making guns even better, and we're going to update the damage system just a little bit. We might return to the graph later on in terms of drawing more kind of advanced line traces, but we'll see what happens anyway. Now, the first thing that I am going to do is we're actually going to update the rifle. So we have this BP underscore rifle, but I am going to right click, I'm going to create a child blueprint, and from here I am going to come to BP rifle. I'm going to rename that B underscore let's call it B underscore gun. Now I'm going to take the BP underscore rifle out of the game. You can come back and you can rename that if you want, but I'm going to do a bit of work in B underscore gun just to get things up and running. Now, a lot of the code is good, but what I want to do is I want to make a new custom event, and for this, similar to how we coded the pickup so that we could have a custom event for anything that a pickup is going to do itself, I'm going to do the same for a bullet. And for this one, I am going to call this one, let's say, unique shot, or you can do it, call it whatever you want. Personally, I'm not too pushed at all. Now, this actor, BP, all that jazz, not too important. This play sound and play montage, a good bit more important. We're going to keep that. It's this actor stuff that we don't really want. So let's undo all that jazz, and instead of that we are going to call this new unique shot, or call it whatever you want, and then we are going to do all of these lovely things. Now, for, let's say, the gun that we had let's say for the gun that we have the BP rifle, the child, the old gun, what we could do is we can go into the event here, and we can take all of this good code. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to just paste it in here. And then we are going to call that event. So just get rid of this just to tidy it up. So in unique shot, event unique shot. Let's do that. Compile and save. And if we want, we can actually get rid of all of that. And something else that we're going to have to clean up is the location for the sound. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to just get actor location. Now before it was not just the location of the gun, but also the location of the socket on the gun. It's very, very particular. Let's just get rid of it. Now, I'm going to come out and I'm going to pull one of these guns out instead. We should still be able to pick it up. Let's have a look. Shoot. Brilliant. Now that we have the base gun and we have the rifle, the other rifle, our old rifle, I'm going to right click B_gun. I'm going to create a child blueprint and I'm going to call this BP_sniper. I'm going to pop into it and we'll just go into the graph and I'm going to use that custom event unique shot. Now with event unique shot I'm going to drag out and we're going to use this famous line trace that we have been talking about. I'm going to use line trace by channel, and then similar to how we were using an XY coordinate for the start and the end, we're just going to be adding a Z. So let's start off the line trace not from where the gun itself is. I'm actually going to start the line trace from the first person character reference, and this first person character reference is coming from the base gun that we were looking at earlier on. I'm going to drag out and I'm going to get the camera. I think the camera will find down the bottom. Yeah, get first person camera. And now I'm going to get world location. Beautiful. And I'm going to plug that into the start. Now, when we're drawing a straight line from the camera, it's a really, really useful tool, but it is a little bit awkward. So what we are going to do is we are going to get the forward vector. I think we can get that from the first person character. Get forward vector. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that. Let's multiply it by 2000 for all the values. Now let's add this to our world location, and if you do not understand this right now, that is 100% okay. I will explain it in a few moments, and then we're going to plug that into the end. Now if we go draw debug type, I'm going to go for duration. I'm going to hit compile, I'm going to hit save. I am just going to move a sniper into the world. I got one here, don't I? Yeah. I'm going to hit play, pick up the gun, fire, and there is a line trace. That red line is a line trace. You can't see it from here. You can see where it hits, but you can't see it. And that is going to be a line trace. And see the red line that goes through? It goes from red to green as soon as it hits something. So you can see there, I've hit a character and it's going to go through. Now guys, just to try explain this and this line trace. So if we start and our world location is, let's just say 2-2. just here. Now, if we get our forward vector, and now let's say our forward vector is going to be 1, 1. So we're looking in this direction here. So if we kept on moving in the straight direction, we are going to go 1, 1, and if we're moving 1 unit, it's going to be up 1 to the y and up 1 to the x. So we're looking to move here. So if that's our forward vector, we're going to have to multiply it by something. So if 1, 1 was by, let's say, 2, for example, that would only actually give us the current location where we are at. So what we need to do is we need to add our current location. So 2, 2 plus 2, 2 will be 4, 4. And that will be our end location. Hopefully that makes some sense anyway. We'll give it another go, and we're going to be using it in a little bit again. So hopefully we'll get it anyway. So with this line trace, what we are going to do is we are going to get the hit results, and I'm going to break those hit results, and I'm going to take the hit actor and I'm going to cast to B underscore zombie. So if the hit actor is zombie, we're going to try to deal damage. So take damage zombie. Now, trust, I don't really like how our take damage has been working. So we're going to look at a nicer version of this that's actually already built into the Unreal Engine. So let's use that instead. Let's jump into B underscore character for a moment. And then we have this take damage here, and it just automatically takes 50%. Now, as mentioned, Unreal Engine have a built-in events for damage. So one is apply damage, and then the other one is any damage taken. Event, any damage. So when any damage is done, and any damage, we're going to look at the flip side from where this comes from in just a few moments. We can pretty much take all this lovely code. I'm going to Control X, I'm going to paste it here. Let's drag that in here. And you'll notice that we have a lovely little float here for damage that's going to be coming in. So instead of dealing a fixed amount of damage, let's plug that in there. So we can now pass through how much damage we want to deal. That's all lovely and good, but let's go back into BP underscore sniper. And instead of take damage, let's apply damage. So apply damage will pass through everything to the any damage taken. And how much damage do we want to do? Well, let's pop into our base gun. And let's create a new variable. And this variable is going to be damage, we'll just call it, or weapon damage, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to hit compile, I'm going to hit save. And let's just say that by default, the damage is going to be 50. And in sniper, I'm actually going to go up to the class default, and I'm going to change the damage to 100. So our sniper is going to do a lot of damage. So instead of base damage here, I am going to right click, and I am going to get damage, the float, and I'll plug it in here. Now this lovely apply damage and any damage taken, they've got a whole bunch of these other variables that you have to plug in. So let's say this event instigator. So this would be really good if you're playing, let's say, a multiplayer first-person shooter and you want to know who shot the player. The damage causer, now this can tell you, let's say, grenades, or let's say if you were using bullets, you could use that. What you could do is, you could pull in, let's say, self. So if you can imagine, let's say, if you want to display what gun the enemy was using, or grenade, or maybe you want to do, let's say, a special message. Moody Dev was shot by someone's shotgun. Then damage types. Now you could actually make your own damage types. So let's say you want to say that this is burn damage, or this is melee damage, anything like that. If you're, especially in case you have some type of, like, it's an armor system. Now with that, we are happy days, I guess. I'm going to compile, I'm going to save, and hopefully when I go to play, I'm going to pick up the sniper rifle, or we have to change the name. I can see that it still says basic rifle. I'm going to shoot, and aiming is a little bit awkward right now because we can't see anything. Let's fix that up. I'm going to go into UI_game. I am going to go into the search palette, and what I want to do is go down to, let's get I'm just going to grab an image. I'm going to just drag it into the screen. Anchors, position, yeah, you can make it whatever you want. Size, I'm going to make it, let's say 4 by 4, and I am going to set the alignment to, I think that was a 0.5, something like that. That should make it in the center. Brush, do we have a nice image that we can use? Do we have a nice image that we can use? I'm going to use this lovely thing, I don't know, burst, something like that. Maybe I can actually just make this a little bit bigger. It might look a little bit cooler. Compile, save. You can add your own little crosshairs if you want. So see that little black dot? That's going to be, hopefully, where our crosshairs are going to be. Oh, they're not. Interesting. Let's fix that up. Okay, so I have made a bit of a boo. So I am actually going to take, I think this is it. We go to the first person camera back in the sniper, and I'm going to get the forward vector for the camera instead. Drag that in there, get rid of this one. I'm going to compile, save, come back into here. I'm going to pick up the gun. And here we go, shoot. And we get them all. Hey guys, just one other thing actually. If you want, I said that you can make your own crosshairs, but I've actually going to upload 4 different versions of crosshairs onto our little Discord. If you just go import and find them in your computer, just select them all. Usually when I kind of using materials and things like that, I will usually create a new folder for them. And these are images. I'm going to call it assets, just the naming convention that I'm using. I'm going to click, I'm going to drag them into the assets folder here. I'm actually going to use one of them, so I'm going to go back into first person, blueprints, and UI_game, and I'm going to pick CH1 for this one. I'm going to hit Control Save. So there's nice little crosshairs. Something that you might want to do is, now that we know that this is all working, I'm going to change the visibility, the draw debug type to none, and I'm going to hit compile, save. The final thing that you might want to just ensure before I finish up this lesson is come into line trace by channel, go to the draw debug type, and ensure that it is none. From there, guys, enjoy shooting your new sniper rifle. Now, you might want to change the size of the crosshair, just size it up. You might want to use one of the other ones that I have in the disparate file. Again, you might want to make your own one. Anyway, till the next episode, guys, stay safe, stay sound, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.